With this video, I'm going to try to finish my long range recon patrol loadout revisited series. And this is where we ended up the last video. We have it all dyed, as well as we're going to get it dyed. Still working on the courage to do some spray painting. We've got the Tactical Tailor butt pack shaved down and done some Frankenstein sewing to it to help attach it at the top to the load bearing equipment. And frankly, I'm playing around, I won't do that today, with either removing the two side pouches or removing the back pouch. And it's going to have to do with how it carries weight. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to finish up picking a little backpack pouch, and then we're going to get it loaded up with some gear, and I'm going to take it for a little 3-mile hike and see how it feels. And that'll tell the tale on what we're going to do. I mean, I may end up with just a regular skeletonized back to the old butt pack by the time I get done. Who knows? Who knows? So let's pick a pack or a pouch that we can put up here that'll be a little day pack, and let's talk about what the purpose of that is. Now, this is going to be a pouch that I cannot get to when I'm wearing my gear, so it's going to have to be a pouch that carries non-essential gear, gear that we don't have to get to unless we're taking our load bearing harness off, and we would never be doing that in any kind of hot tactical situation. We wouldn't be doing it just for, shits and grins, because it makes noise and movement. So we want to put in that pouch stuff that we aren't going to need very often. What comes to mind? Snivel gear. Not only is it fairly lightweight, but it's stuff that you won't need unless you're, rolling into a Ron for the night. That's a rest overnight position, or at least it was back when I was in. Or if you're going to, be setting in for some reason, or if the weather changes drastically and you need to make an alteration to what you're wearing, just for not just for comfort, but just for well-being. So we're talking about fairly light gear, mostly snivel gear. We're not going to be putting food in there unless it's going to be, the last 2 meals for a 5-day, trip, something like that. We're certainly not going to be putting ammo or grenades or anything like that in there. Nothing that we might need in a hot tactical situation. So with that in mind, these are the pouches. I've gone through what I've got, and these are the pouches I've pulled out as kind of the finals. And I keep coming back to the old butt pack, and this thing's old. And the only problem with it is, and you're gonna see this with a couple of the pouches I've pulled out, is I want it to marry into the molly as much as I can. I want it to really be held on, and this just doesn't do it. I can only use maybe a couple of small malice clips, 2 places. Actually, you have to use the Fight Light clips to get in here, because these guys are just too thick. But that means a lot of flopping. I don't want a lot of flopping. Whatever sits here needs to sit still. So, not using that. And then the next one I looked at is the sustainment pouch. And a couple people mentioned, a couple of my 5 faithfuls mentioned the sustainment pouch, and I love the sustainment pouch. It is lightweight. It is huge. It if you need it, it'll carry a lot of stuff. But if you don't, you hardly know it's there. You can just kind of roll it up or cinch it up, and you don't know. Here's the downfall of the sustainment pouch. It is made, and I think this is a huge downfall, it is made to fit onto the side of the Molly 2-pack, and that's it. You see here? So I really don't feel that it lends itself. It would only, even if I could make it fit, And I think I probably could make it fit on the outermost. I'm having a hard time one-handed. Yeah, I think it'll fit on the outermost two columns. But even then, I have no choices. It's going to have to go there, and it's going to have to go there. I just, will it work? Yeah, maybe. But I just don't feel that it's the right choice here. And another thing is, it's so big, I can't imagine having enough snivel gear to really fill it up to put here. So as much as I love the Sustain pouch, I don't think so. Now, a pouch that I really thought would be great here is this odd one here. It obviously could really do a good job of mating up with this surface on my back. And it is no Velcro, because, you know, well, it has Velcro, but it has one of these guys, because, you know, we don't want to be using Velcro if we don't have to on any of these things. Here's the problem with it. It is a kind of an odd pouch. Let me see if I can find the name of it. It is an anti-static charge pouch. So it actually has sewn into it, and you can see a little bit of it here, an anti-static metal foil material. And I can't remove that without destroying the bag. So it makes noise. So, I mean, it just makes too much noise. So then I looked at this old saw pouch, and it's an aftermarket saw pouch, and it's great. I tell you what it's great for is large binoculars, and I've used it for that. Unlike most saw pouches, it's got this plastic insert that gives it a little bit of form, and while it's kind of squished down now with age, it really is a good pouch and will hold a lot of stuff. And you know, it meets most of the criteria. It would sit there very well. I could put a lot of I could attach it really firmly. It would do a good job there. So that's in the running. But then there's this one here, and this one's a little bit larger, and it's a little bit softer. Very easy to roll up and stick in the butt pouch if I want to. And that's something to think about. What if you don't have anything in here? What if what if you did put some sort of expendables in there, like food, maybe even water, and when you use it up, you don't want to leave it on there for whatever reason. You know, you could roll this up and fit it into your butt pack or some other pouch. So that's something to think about there. It really comes down to these two. And you know, when it comes, oh, that's the other thing, is this one has a collar. This is basically kind of an odd butt pack, I guess. And yeah, it's kind of odd. It actually seems like, because of that, I want to say that it was meant to go in the front of an H harness, but who knows? Who knows? I don't know what it was made for. You know, you can see this, the old desert cami. It might have been some sort of gear for holding NBC gear. They made a lot of stuff for that during the Desert Storm. So I don't know. Now, it was made for Alice clips, but I can very easily make it fit there. It doesn't cover the real estate as much as I'd like it to, but I can make it work. So it's down between these two, really. And I'm really leaning toward this one, just because it's kind of a stay out of the way, permanent kind of deal. Anyway, I'm going to pray about that a little bit more and make a decision. And then what we're going to do is we're going to weigh this thing empty, find out what it weighs. You know, not enough websites weigh their stuff when they're talking about their loadouts. You need to know what it weighs, and then we're going to fill it up, and we're going to take it on a hump and see how it feels. All right, I thought we'd go ahead and weigh the gear without that back pouch before we decide and put it on. Okay, 5.04 pounds. So that's 5 pounds worth of gear before putting anything in it, you know. And you know, whether you think that's heavy, whether you think that's light, I really recommend that you weigh your gear. Weigh your gear. Know how much gear you're carrying, because I mean, you know the whole ounces make pounds and pounds make pain. you want to trim down wherever you can, but at the same time, you want to have quality gear that's not going to fall apart on you, and you don't want to be out there without something that you needed. So weigh your gear, find out what you've got, and always be um, have that in mind. How much gear you're carrying on your back is going to have a lot to do with how far you can go, how fast you can move, and how quick you can respond. All right, so we've decided on this saw pouch. May change my mind in the future. May decide I don't like it there at all. But for right now, we've went with that. And I was thinking, okay, if you were part of a fire team or even a squad going out on some sort of long-range reconnaissance patrol, you may be the A gunner for the saw, and you could carry ammo for your gunner. So don't know that that's where I'd want to carry it, but you could. And in that case, you could be there available to him. You can't get to it, but he certainly could. And but another thing I forgot was this front panel. And I put this little Condor general purpose admin pouch on. And, the jury's still out on even if I want this front panel. I like front panels. I like front gear, and I'm wanting to avoid a whole different harness for my front gear. But this one, I'm making this up, so we'll have to see if it works. But we're gonna try it with that. So let's take it all over and see how much it weighs with all that gear on. So as you saw before, the H harness with the 4 pouches and the butt pack, minus this GP pouch and minus the saw pouch on the back, weighed 5.04 earlier. So now with those other pouches, we've gained over a pound, 6.20 pounds. Now let's talk about this. 6.2 pounds for your total load bearing gear. Now compare that to a backpack. Could you carry more gear in a backpack that weighed the same amount? Well, a 6-pound backpack is a pretty good sized backpack. So yeah, you probably could. Would it be as accessible? No, it wouldn't. This is all gear that, with just a couple of exceptions, is very accessible on the move in a tactical situation. So that's what we're looking at here. Now, let's make this argument. Could we lose this pouch and maybe some other pouches and maybe the butt pack and carry a small backpack in addition to this and just carry a fighting load? Yeah, you could do that. Could do that. And I'm not saying that that's not the way to go. But what we're doing in this series, we're just exploring long-range reconnaissance load-bearing gear as a loadout. All right, let's throw some weight into this thing so that we can take it for a walk and see how it rides. So I'm not going to force you to sit through a long drawn out, this is what I would take on a long-range reconnaissance patrol. If you want that, please go back and look at my entry into Brent 0331's contest a couple years ago. I won that contest against some pretty stiff competition. Matter of fact, go back and watch all the videos from his contest, because there were some guys out there who had some great ideas. Basically, his challenge was to equip yourself for a long-range patrol, and he had certain items you had to carry, and it was really a well thought out contest. And I'm happy to say I won it with my entry. And if you want to see that kind of stuff, go look at that. We're not going to do that today. Instead, we're just going to approximate some weights. Now, a loaded 30-round magazine weighs just a little over a pound. An MRE weighs about 1.5 pounds unstripped. Water. This water weighs about, this full bottle weighs about 1.75 pounds. This one weighs about 1.25. I got some shot bags here. This is a 3-pound shot bag. These are 1-pound sandbags, and so we're gonna distribute the weight and approximate a proper load. In here I have a sandbag that's 8.75 pounds, and I've got that into the butt pack. So you could figure that's a M16 magazine or M4 magazine. That's almost 3 M4 magazines. So that'll give you an idea, and that's a good bit of water. That'll give you an idea of a basic load of food, ammo, water, and medical. All right. All right, loaded down. This thing weighs 32.5 pounds. So we've got a good bit of water, ammo, and food in that thing, or the weight approximates of that. That's a pretty heavy load. That's a pretty heavy load. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I think that's a good test. 32.45 pounds. The sun's not quite up yet, but we're going to go ahead and go for a little 3-mile hike. And I've decided to put some water bottles in this back pouch because I want to feel what that's like. I started thinking, what if I don't like having that weight there? I don't know. So we're going to throw some weight in there, and when I'm done I'll weigh the whole thing because that's going to add a little bit. That'll probably add a couple pounds. Yeah, see, I can get 3 in there. I'll probably add maybe 2 pounds. I don't know. But I just want to see what that's like. Now I will tell you this. This is the most weight I have ever had on just a piece of 782 gear. I'm sorry, I don't have one of those nifty sticks, so you're getting way too close of a look. Anyway, there's a lot of real estate right there, isn't there? Another pouch, as if I need it, but I sure could. I could put another pouch there. All right, so let's go do this and see what it feels like. See you in a couple, 3 miles. That was very revealing. We went about 2.6, 2.7 miles, and it was very comfortable because it was very well spread. The weight load was. So let's talk about every element. First of all, the yoke. The H harness did great. A lot more padding there than the old one. That part was wonderful. I never felt a real pressure on my shoulders. I know, a little over 2.5 miles isn't much, but it felt good. This back piece that I stuck the water bottles in, never knew it was there. I would push my neck back and I couldn't feel it. I didn't know it was there. Very, very, very happy with that. This front piece, very, very happy with it. I just threw a couple of 1-pound weights in there because all I will ever have in here would be, land nav stuff such as compass and map, maybe light, just some admin type things. So we're not looking at a lot of weight in here. Binos, the small binos. So that worked very well. We still haven't figured a way to attach the bottom, but you know what? It didn't flop. It just hung straight down. I did a little bit of moving and maneuvering. Didn't do any crawling because it's real wet out here today, but I was very happy with that. Now let's talk about what we weren't happy with, and that was these front 2 pouches. They hang too low, and I really can't raise them anymore, although I wouldn't mind being able to raise them, and I may experiment with trying to raise it, but if I can, it's only going to be a little bit. I felt it right here. So if I can't raise these pouches, they're going to have to be replaced with something shorter. I'd like them to be a good 2 inches shorter. Yeah, that's not going to work. This pouch, wonderful. I could get to it. I could see it. Um, Perfect placement. And then, as you saw when I was getting ready to leave, once this thing's on my body, I notice how much. I got a sick chicken, or maybe just a loud chicken. Anyway, I noticed how much real estate I have there. I have room for another pouch there. So who knows? I may end up, moving this here and putting something else here. Um, don't really know. Of course, mirror over here. I had space. Now let's talk about this butt pack. It did fine. It did fine. Um, I got almost 9 pounds in it, and so what's going on is I have a crippled chicken, a brown one. You can't see her, but she's inside, and the white one, I guess, is trying to talk her out. You know, telling her to come on outside, or maybe she's telling the rest of them that Brownie's sick. But Brownie has a hurt foot. I caught her, couldn't figure out what was wrong with her. Maybe it was broke. I don't know. I don't know how chicken breaks a leg, but um, she's hopping around on it. She's eating. I'm making sure she gets in at night. But Brownie better get better, or Brownie's going to end up over there at the chopping block, because I'm not running a chicken nursing home. Anyway, back to this. I am seriously considering, after all the work I've done to this butt pack, after all the Frankensteining I've done, I am seriously considering putting an old school butt pack back on there. I know, I know, I am so wishy-washy, but I just don't know that these pouches. I don't know. I'm wishy-washy. So you may end up seeing one of the older butt packs on here. If I can figure a way to be happy with its attachment to the pals webbing, I may do it. I may do it. It would certainly be a lot lighter. This is a very heavy butt pack. Anyway, that was eye-opening. And even though I started this video out saying that I hoped that I was going to be ending this series, it looks like I'm not. I'm going to keep on playing with it. Hey, thanks for watching.